Have you ever seen a dog quietly sitting beside an empty chair, staring at it as if someone is still there? Or perhaps a cat that keeps returning to the same corner of the room where a person used to spend hours every day? Sometimes it is the door, sometimes it is the bed, sometimes it is a sweater left on a couch. Days pass, weeks go by, and yet the pet keeps returning to that exact place. It is one of the most heartbreaking things a pet owner can witness. And almost everyone who sees it asks the same question. Do pets actually remember the people they lost? Do they still think about them? Do they miss them? Or are we simply reading too much into their behavior because we want to believe they feel the way we do? Today, we are going deep into one of the most emotional and fascinating questions in animal psychology. Because this is not just about memory. This is about love, attachment, loss, and what it truly means to share your life with an animal. The truth is, pets absolutely do have memory, but the way they remember is very different from the way humans do. As humans, we remember through stories. We replay moments in our minds. We remember the words someone said. We think in scenes, faces, and conversations. Our memory is often built like a movie. Animals do not seem to process memory in the same narrative way. Instead, their memory is deeply rooted in association. For pets, memory is connected to smell, sound, environment, timing, and emotional comfort. A dog may not remember its owner by mentally replaying a family holiday, but it remembers the smell of their skin, the sound of their keys, the rhythm of their footsteps in the hallway, the exact time they usually come home, the place they sit on the sofa, the hand that scratches behind the ears. These things become deeply imprinted. For a dog, this is memory, and it is powerful. Let's start with smell, because this is perhaps the strongest clue. Dogs experience the world through scent in a way that is almost impossible for humans to imagine. To us, a shirt may simply smell like perfume or detergent. To a dog, it carries an identity. A person's emotional state and unique body chemistry create a scent signature. That scent becomes part of the dog's emotional world. This is why many dogs sleep on their owner's clothes when they are away. It is not random, it is comfort. It is familiarity. It is memory. Now imagine that person is gone permanently. The dog may continue returning to that shirt, that pillow, or that blanket because it still carries the emotional imprint of safety. This is not just habit. Psychologically, it can be a way of self-soothing. In many cases, it may be the dog's way of holding on to the bond. Now let's talk about routine, because this is where pet psychology becomes truly fascinating. Pets live through patterns. Humans often underestimate how deeply animals understand routine. A dog knows when you wake up. It knows the sound of the alarm. It knows when breakfast happens. It knows when shoes come out for a walk. It knows the time you usually return home. Even without looking at a clock, pets build incredibly precise expectations. This is why some dogs start waiting near the door at almost the same time every evening. Now imagine what happens when that person never comes back. For the first few days, the dog continues to wait. It expects the routine to continue. The pattern has been reinforced hundreds, sometimes thousands of times. The brain expects repetition, so the dog waits, and waits, and waits. This is one of the most emotionally devastating signs that pets can retain powerful memory associations. Because what you are seeing is not just random sitting. You are witnessing expectation shaped by memory. Now let's talk about grief. This is where many people become emotional because they have seen it with their own eyes. A pet loses a person, and suddenly everything changes. A playful dog becomes quiet. A cat that usually roams the house starts hiding. A normally energetic pet begins sleeping all day. Some stop eating. Some lose interest in toys. Some become unusually clingy. Others become distant. These are classic signs of emotional distress. While we must be careful not to project purely human emotions, the behavioral evidence strongly suggests grief-like responses. For many animals, humans are not simply providers of food. They are attachment figures. They are emotional anchors. This is especially true for dogs. Dogs are pack animals by nature. Their humans are their pack. When a key member of that pack disappears, it creates confusion and stress. This can manifest in behaviors that closely resemble mourning, searching the house, waiting by the door, whining at night, sleeping in unusual places, reduced appetite, less playfulness, all suggest emotional recognition of absence. Now let's talk about cats, because cats are often misunderstood. People assume cats are cold or emotionally detached, but cat psychology tells a very different story. Cats form deep bonds, though they express them more subtly. A cat may not jump around excitedly like a dog, but it absolutely knows who its people are. Cats associate people with voice, scent, territory, and emotional safety. This is why some cats continue sleeping on the bed of someone who is no longer there. For cats, space and memory are closely connected. Their emotional world is tied to physical territory. So when a person disappears, the home itself feels different. The emotional map changes. This is why some cats become anxious after loss. Their environment no longer matches their memory. Now here is something incredibly powerful. Pets can also remember other pets they lost. This may be one of the clearest signs of emotional memory. If two dogs have lived together for years and one passes away, the survivor notices immediately. They may sniff the other dog's bed, search the house, wait in places they used to share. This strongly suggests not just recognition, but emotional absence processing. They know someone is missing. In many cases, yes, there are countless stories of dogs recognizing former owners months or even years later. The reaction is often immediate. Tail wagging, whining, jumping, excitement. This strongly suggests long-term memory retention. There are countless stories of dogs recognizing former owners months or even years later. The reaction is often immediate. Tail wagging, whining, jumping, excitement. This strongly suggests long-term memory retention. The same can happen with cats, though their reaction may be quieter. They may approach cautiously, sniff, and then suddenly become affectionate. These responses indicate that the memory and the emotional association were still there. Now let's go even deeper. Do pets understand death? The honest answer is, we do not know exactly how animals conceptualize death. They likely do not understand permanence in the abstract way humans do, but they do understand absence. They understand that someone who was once part of their world is no longer present, and that change affects them. In many cases, pets that see or smell the body of a deceased companion seem to adjust differently. Behaviorists believe this helps them process the change because it gives closure through sensory confirmation. Again, not closure through thought or words, but through their own perceptual system. This is deeply important because animals process the world through senses first, and those senses are tied directly to memory. What makes this topic so emotional is that it reminds us how deep the human-animal bond really is. Love leaves patterns, it leaves routines, it leaves emotional imprints. For pets, those patterns become part of daily life. So when someone they love is gone, the silence itself becomes a memory. The missing footsteps, the empty chair, the untouched side of the bed, the door that no longer opens at 6 p.m. All of these absences become meaningful. And perhaps that is the most beautiful way to understand pet memory. They may not sit there thinking in words, but they feel the missing presence. They recognize that the world is no longer the same. And in their own quiet way, they remember. Maybe not with language, but with smell, with sound, with routine, with emotion, with spaces that no longer feel complete. So, yes, pets do seem to carry memories of the people they lost, not as stories, but as feelings, as habits, as absences that continue to matter. And maybe that is why seeing a dog wait by the door can be so heartbreaking. Because somewhere in that moment, love is still present, even in loss, even in silence, even in waiting, and perhaps that is their way of remembering the ones they loved.